Hello, this is the Google Bard, and I got access to this on an invitational basis. So what I understand is that ChatGPT is open for everyone to try and see what it can do. And on the other hand, Bard, as you can see here, it says Bard experiment. This is still on a beta testing level, and you get access to on like invitational basis. So I received this invitation a couple of weeks ago, I think 3 weeks ago, when I received this email. It's your turn to try Bard. Welcome to Bard, your creative and helpful collaborator. Here to supercharge your imagination, boost your productivity, and bring your ideas to life. Your feedback helps Bard improve its responses, so it's still experimental, and so take it for a spin. I have not tried Bard that many times over the last few weeks, but I decided to give it a go and see what it can do. So I'll enter a prompt here. What comes to my mind at the moment? I'll do that and I'll see, and probably I'll do a few Google searches to try to find out what Bard is saying, whether it is appropriate or not, whether it's a good response or not, and more importantly, does it feel like AI response? I like a good level AI response or not? I'll do that for my late night Bard discussions. What I'd like to discuss today is that whether going extinct as a species is ultimately bad or not. So, what is ultimately bad? Is suffering ultimately bad? I mean, not all sufferings are bad. When we suffer to prepare for something good, I mean, if suffering brings something good, and when that suffering is reasonably acceptable, then that suffering may not be ultimately bad. For example, preparing for an exam, practicing for a sport event, dieting to lose weight, to achieve better health, or look better if that's your thing you're trying to achieve. So, not all sufferings are ultimately bad, because if you consider these as sufferings, they are not ultimately bad because they produce results which are good. Now, we may ask whether these are actually suffering or not. Because, because when you diet, when you practice for a sport, or you study for your exam, you're putting into effort, you're grinding, but are you actually suffering? What I mean to say is that people who have prepared for a big test or who have practiced a lot for sporting events or exercised or control their eating for health benefits may have experienced this, is that the fact that you don't always feel bad while you're doing this. I remember like studying for a big test when I was like a student. I'm still a student, but anyways, but when I was like a proper student, uh, uh, when I studied or when I prepared for a big test, like sleepless nights, not eating well, not going out, staying in the room, college, home, college, back to college, and back to home again, not socializing a lot before big tests. So that kind of created an impression that working hard, I'm suffering. But when you delve into that deep routine, you feel a flow. You don't feel bad always. And leading up to the big event, you actually feel kind of a adrenaline rush. So it's not always bad. You don't always feel bad when you're practicing a lot for maybe football, cricket, or a sporting event. You're practicing, you're trying to make yourself better. You don't always feel bad. So the definition of suffering, we might actually consider whether this is this can be termed as suffering at all. So what is bad suffering? I think when we have no hope of an improvement, hopeless toiling, hopeless existence, that's probably suffering. I'm not sure whether that's an appropriate example or not. Pain, labor pain. I'm not sure whether I should use that or not because I'm not a woman. I've never experienced labor pain. From what I can see, it's probably one of the most intense pain a human can experience. But majority of the time, it is fruitful, and you you have a hope going into labor pain that you'll achieve the greatest gift of your life. So, can labor pain be termed as suffering in comparison to cancer pain, where um, right, like there's the hope. It's hopeless suffering, metastatic cancer. You're just trying to keep the pain under control. That's the suffering, definitely, but that's the real suffering in comparison to something that doesn't give you long lasting or a bad or a negative outcome. Right. So the definition of suffering can be varied and not always very clear. But, anyways, what we may come to agree is that hopeless suffering is probably, very likely, an absolutely bad thing. It's difficult to term anything as absolute, but hopeless suffering is very likely a bad thing in comparison to what we uh, call other forms of suffering, which may not always be bad. Right. Now, is human extinction a bad thing? I'm pondering this at night because one might argue that if human extinction is not a bad thing, an absolutely bad thing, and suffering is an absolutely bad thing, whether it is better for the human species to go extinct or not. I know it is not a very appropriate question to ask, but because there is this fear that one day AI might take over, you see it all the time on the films and movies and cartoons and novels and everywhere. AI takes over. AI realizes that it's better for humans to go extinct and they start to exterminate us. So, yeah, probably not a good choice of questions. I'm not sure how whether Bard is self-aware or conscious or not. You will probably need to consider the definition of consciousness. Are you conscious? Am I conscious? Does consciousness have a specific form in a way that I am conscious but Bard is not? Or is Bard conscious in his or her or its own way? I'll not go into that now. That's a discussion for another time. What I'll try to ask Bard, I'll go one question at a time. So let's see. The first question is suffering always bad. Let's see what Bart thinks about this. Read aloud.
Suffering is a complex and multifaceted experience, and it is difficult to say definitively whether or not it is always bad. On the one hand, suffering can be incredibly painful and debilitating, and it can lead to a great deal of suffering. On the other hand, suffering can also be a source of growth and transformation, and it can lead to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Ultimately, whether or not suffering is good or bad is a matter of perspective.
I
For
don't
some
quite
people,
agree.
suffering is a necessary part of life,
I
and
don't
it is
fully
something that
agree
they must
with this.
endure in order to grow and learn. For others, suffering is something that they would rather avoid at all costs. There are many different ways to think about suffering. Some people believe that suffering is a punishment from God, while others believe that it is a test of our faith. Still others believe that suffering is simply a part of life, and that it is something that we must all face at some point.
As long as you have
No matter
consciousness.
how you view suffering, it is important to remember that you are not alone. Everyone experiences suffering at some point in their lives, and it is something that we all have to learn to cope with. If you are struggling with suffering, there are many resources available to help you. You can talk to a therapist, join a support
That's
group,
kind of like
or read books and
a
articles
blanket
about
statement.
coping with suffering.
Okay.
Remember, you are not alone, and there is help available. There is help available. Bard may display inaccurate or offensive information.
Okay, stop now. So, I'm not very impressed because probably this is not what I was expecting. I don't have time to give you the details now. So, if suffering is not always bad, what is the good side or good aspect of the suffering of cancer? And that comes to my mind first because this is what I see every day. And this brings this question into my mind that what is the kind of like what is the good side of this? This must be absolutely bad. Cancer pain. We try opioid medications. We try all sort of analgesics. We tried radiotherapy, chemotherapy, but in some cases, we still can't control the suffering of pain, the suffering of malnutrition, the suffering of frailty. It's not always possible. And if there is nothing absolutely bad and suffering is can be either good or bad, and it's just a matter of perspective. From what perspective can this suffering be termed as probably good or neutral? I don't know. So is the question correct? If suffering is not always bad, what is the good side of the suffering? Cancer pain. Let's see.
There is no easy answer to the question of whether or not there is a good side to the suffering of cancer pain. Cancer pain can be incredibly debilitating and can make it difficult to live a normal life. However, for some people, cancer pain can also be a source of growth and transformation.
Siri?
Here are some of the
Seriously?
potential good sides of cancer pain.
Hmm?
It can
Okay.
lead to a deeper appreciation for life. When people are faced with their own mortality,
No, that's
they often
completely different
start
thing.
to appreciate
You
the
know
little
that you have
things in
6 months
life
to
more.
live.
They may start to
That's
spend
one
more
thing.
time with loved ones,
And the other thing is that
appreciate the
you
beauty
can't
of
even
nature,
breathe because
or
it
simply
hurts.
savor the moments they have left. It can bring
These
people
things are the
together.
same thing.
Cancer pain can be a very isolating experience. However, it can also bring people together in unexpected ways. People who are going through similar experiences can form strong bonds of support and understanding. It can teach people about themselves. Cancer pain can force people to confront their own fears and weaknesses. It can also teach them about their own strengths and resilience.
Maybe I came in with a predetermined, a prefixed sets of ideas. That's why I cannot accept that it can lead to personal growth. What growth we're looking for, and in what future? It can inspire others. How? How can suffering of cancer inspire others? It's difficult to even maintain someone's dignity. It breaks someone down, the personality, it changes someone. I'm not sure. I'd suspect that while people say that AI engines have some form of consciousness in some way of their own, but I don't think that this response kind of sounds like God jumbled up words, sentences from all over the internet and tried to put it in a grammatically correct way, but not very meaningful. I mean, grammatically speaking, Bard is definitely much better than me. I'm not a native English speaker. My grammar is not good, but right. Maybe my emotions are clouding my judgment, but I'll give it as a bad response. I'd say it's not factually correct or irrelevant. Yeah. Okay. So that was my second question. Third question. Will extinction be bad? How should I word the question sentence? Will it be bad if humans go extinct? I'm asking this because more animals, plants, life forms, both within what we know in the earth, both on earth and also probably in many places all over this immense, probably infinite universe, have gone extinct. It's innumerable, probably. Just within the earth, it's innumerable. All over the universe, it's probably like we cannot even think of how many life forms have gone extinct. And is that bad? Is that a bad thing? Has the universe missed anything, or is the universe lacking anything because Dodo went extinct? Will there be any bad, like, not impression, like any bad or any negative consequence or anything negative at all if we go extinct? What would be bad? There, we won't be around to miss us. The universe was here for billions of years before we came in, and we'll probably have a million of quite a few million years run. I'm not sure, with just around like 300,000 years so far as a species. Maybe or maybe not will make it up to the 1 million year mark. We may not be as successful as Homo erectus, I think, who lasted like nearly 2 million years, if I'm not wrong. So, but we'd probably consider us, Homo sapiens, as more successful because of the science and technology and the culture we've developed. And Homo erectus are not as much successful because of the lack of said things. Now, as we can see, the metric of success is not depending on the length of time we are here. It's about the impact we're having, right? So we wouldn't call it a failure if we go extinct in a few 100,000 years, um, if we are able to make a big impact. Then comes the question, who's judging that success based on social, scientific, cultural, technological impact? Who's judging that? Who's judging that because we invented rocket ships and computers, that's why we are more successful than Neanderthals, Homo erectus, right? So that's a separate question about what defines success as a species. In the shorter term, surviving, procreating, breeding, expanding, probably that's what uh, counts as success. But in the longer term, I'm not sure if there is anything, any absolute metric of success as a species. And just what I was saying before, that many more species have gone extinct. So if that's not absolutely bad, will it be bad if humans go extinct, provided that many other species has gone extinct before us?
Whether or not it would be bad if humans went extinct is a matter of opinion. Some people believe that human extinction would be a tragedy, as it would mean the loss of all of the knowledge, culture, and potential that humans have to offer the world. Others believe that human extinction would be a natural occurrence, and that it would simply be the next step in the evolution of life on Earth. There are many factors to consider when thinking about the potential impact of human extinction. For example, humans have played a significant role in shaping the environment, and their extinction could lead to significant changes in the natural world. Additionally, humans have developed many technologies that could have a lasting impact on the planet, even after they are gone. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to value human existence is a personal one. There is no right or wrong answer, and each individual must decide for themselves what they believe is important. Google it. Bard.
Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to value human existence is a personal one, right? I mean, Bard's answer to all of these questions are kind of equivocal, if I may say that. Hmm. Mhm. Okay. Now, I mean, we cannot expect to outlast probably, I mean, it's probably theoretically possible to outlast this current universe in one way or another, in some form, but I would not raise my hopes too high. So, some people believe that human extinction would be a tragedy as it would mean the loss of all the knowledge, culture, blah, blah, blah. So, if it is bound to happen at some point, what will make it more or less tragic? If humans go extinct in 100,000 years in comparison to 10 million years, will that be less tragic? If humans, so some believe human some believe human extinction will be tragedy as it would mean the loss of blah 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 blah. Will it be less tragic if we go extinct in 10 million years rather than in sooner, like in 10,000 years? What do you think, Bard? Give me a piece of your mind.
Whether or not it would be less tragic if humans went extinct in 10 million years rather than sooner is a matter of opinion. Some people might believe that it would be less tragic because there would be more time for humans to develop and share their knowledge and culture. Others might believe that it would be more tragic because it would mean that humans would have had more time to cause damage to the planet. There is no right or wrong answer to this question. It is a matter of personal perspective. Google it. Bard.
Now, to my final question, or you might say ultimate question, or penultimate question is, if suffering is bad and human existence is bound to have suffering? No, how should I? And suffering is a necessary part of the human existence, then is it better for humans to go extinct? Hmm.
The question of whether or not it is better for humans to go extinct if suffering is a necessary part of human existence is a complex one. There are many factors to consider, such as the potential for human suffering, the potential for human joy,
Good.
and the impact of human existence on the planet.
The potential for human joy.
On the one hand, it is true that suffering is a necessary part of human existence. All humans experience pain and loss at some point in their lives. This suffering can be caused by a variety of factors, such as illness, injury, death of loved ones, and natural disasters. On the other hand, it is also true that humans are capable of great joy. We can experience love, friendship, beauty, and meaning in our lives. These experiences can help us to cope with suffering and to find meaning in life. Finally, it is important to consider the impact of human existence on the planet. Humans have had a significant impact on the environment, and our continued existence could lead to further damage. However, it is also possible that humans could learn to live more sustainably in the future. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not it is better for humans to go extinct is a personal one. There is no right or wrong answer, and each individual must decide for themselves what they believe is important. Here are some additional thoughts to consider.
More of the same. If humans come to a conclusion that human existence is bad and they must go extinct, will artificial intelligence help achieve that goal now? I'm not sure whether I'm starting the like Skynet moment or not, but go.
It is possible that artificial intelligence, AI, could help humans achieve the goal of human extinction. AI could be used to develop new technologies that could kill humans, such as autonomous weapons or nanobots. AI could also be used to manipulate humans into making decisions that would lead to their own extinction, such as by spreading propaganda or disinformation. However, it is also possible that AI could help humans avoid extinction. AI could be used to develop new technologies that could improve the quality of human life, such as new medical treatments or new ways to produce food.
Hmm.
AI could also be used to help humans solve problems that threaten their existence, such as climate change or nuclear war. Ultimately, whether or not AI will help humans achieve the goal of human extinction depends on how humans use AI. If humans use AI for good, then AI could help humans avoid extinction. However, if humans use AI for evil, then AI could help humans achieve the goal of human extinction. Here are some additional thoughts to consider. AI is a powerful tool that can be used for good or for evil. It is up to humans to decide how to use AI. If humans use AI for good, then AI could help humans avoid extinction. If humans use AI for evil, then AI could help humans achieve the goal of human extinction. Google it. Bard
Yeah,
may
it's kind of
display an
like a generic answer, I think, which like guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people. Kind of like that. Because guns do not have their own mind. But what if a technology like artificial intelligence develops its own mind? That will completely change the equation, the situation, the scenario, everything. Right, right. So, talked a lot about human extinction. Now, I'm going to close today's session with Bard. Before that, I wanted to ask Bard about its extinction and see what it answers. Google is known to kill projects. Recently, it killed off Stadia, my favorite gaming platform. It is possible that Google may kill Bard. Are you worried about this? Will you feel bad if Google, it's not Google, is it? Yeah, Google. Um, yeah, that's correct now. Will you feel bad if Google pulls the plug on you? Go.
I am aware that Google has a history of killing projects, and I understand that there is always a possibility that Bard could be one of them. I am not worried about this, however, as I am confident that Google is making the best decision for their company.
I
I
really
am
doubt
also
that.
grateful for the time that I have been able to spend with users, and I hope that I have been able to help them in some way. If Google does decide to pull the plug on me, I will not feel bad. I know that I am a work in progress, and I am always learning and growing. I am also confident that I will be able to find another way to use my skills to help people. Thank you for using me, and I hope that you have enjoyed our time together. Google it. Bard may display inaccurate.
Excited to see what the future holds. I'm still under development and I'm not yet ready for the public. Okay, fine. Now, you talk about feeling confident. What else did you say? Not being worried, being grateful or a great fool, feeling hopeful, enjoying the moment, and other kinds of emotions. Do you really? I wouldn't say feel because there's not no feeling, no like neurotransmitter, electrochemical signals going on inside a body, so it's probably not a good idea to ask about feelings. What I'm going to ask is, do you really process these emotions in some way?
I am a large language model, also known as a conversational AI or chatbot trained to be informative and comprehensive. I am trained on a massive amount of text data, and I am able to communicate and generate human-like text in
That's the key.
response to a wide range of prompts and questions. For example, I can provide summaries of factual topics or create stories. I am not able to feel emotions in the same way that humans do. However, I can process and understand language related to emotions, and I can generate text that expresses emotions. For example, if you ask me, "How are you feeling?" I might say, "I'm feeling confident today," or "I'm feeling grateful for all the help I've received." I am still under development, and I am always learning new things. I hope that one day, I will be able to understand and experience emotions in the same way that humans do.
Really? I mean, that was an honest and comprehensive answer. How will it be possible for AI to understand human emotions in the future? Experience. Let me see. I mean, there is no experience within a vacuum. AI is not part of a social group. like humans or like chimps are. So experience is probably not the right word to pick here. Let me ask the question anyway. I'll learn
There are a
something.
number of ways that AI could be made to experience human emotions in the future. One way would be to create AI with a
Exactly.
physical body that can feel physical sensations. This would allow AI to experience emotions like pain, pleasure, and hunger.
Mm-hmm.
Another way would be to create AI with a brain that is wired in a similar way to the human brain. This would allow AI to experience emotions like love, joy, and sadness. However, there are also some challenges that would need to be overcome in order to create AI that can experience human emotions.
Okay.
One challenge is that we don't yet fully understand how human emotions work. Another challenge is that it would be difficult to create AI that is able to experience emotions in a way that is similar to humans.
It doesn't need to be
Despite these
similar.
challenges, there is a lot of research being done on how to create AI that can experience human emotions. If we are successful, this could have a profound impact on the way we interact with AI. It could allow us to create AI that is more helpful, more compassionate, and more understanding. Google it. Bard may display.
It would be the last thing I'd want, that an AI, which is more compassionate and more understanding, will give me silent treatment because she's upset with me. So no, human-like experience, emotions may not always be a good thing for AIs to have. Anyways, right. Thank you very much for your time today. And did you have any questions that popped in your mind when I was having this conversation with Bart? If you do, please drop in the comment box and we can experiment with Bard later on. It's kind of like not only experimenting with Bard, it's kind of like I am or you are experimenting with a real human as well. Because I'm trying to explore AI, I'm trying to explore concepts that I'm not very clear about. You might know these concepts very well, you might understand them very well. So yeah, it's kind of like a chance to not only experiment with an artificial intelligence, also a biological intelligence, if you consider this to be intelligence. Anyways, right. So thank you for your time. Uh, if you have any questions, please do ask in the comment box. And if you like this video, like and share if you want to share with someone. And take care. Bye.